Okay, so I got a question about one of the steps in example 5 in Canvas for the implicit differentiation stuff. So I figured I'll just go through and kind of explain each step of the way here. Okay, so we want to find the derivative, and we don't have a function of y, because we get this y squared and sine of xy stuff. All right, so one thing to remember when you do the derivative of y, you also have to multiply by the dy dx, okay? So the left-hand side, that's fine. We bring the 2 down, we subtract 1 from the exponent, and since we're differentiating y, we tack on the dy dx. So then the derivative for x squared is the 2x. Now the derivative for sine of xy, of course we have to use the chain rule for that. So the derivative of the outside would be the cosine, and then we have the derivative of xy. Okay? Now the derivative of xy, we have to use the product rule. Okay? So that means we take the derivative of the first factor, which is just x, times the derivative of the second one, or let's see, the first factor times the derivative of the second, plus the derivative of the first one times the second. That was just a mouthful. So the derivative of y would be dy dx, and then the derivative of x would be 1. Now, at this point, we're just trying to simplify and solve some things, right? So with this cosine, we just have to distribute it and multiply through here. So that's why we've got the cosine of xy times x dy dx. They just stuck the x out front, right? So that's what we get when we distribute multiply here. And then when we multiply the cosine times this term, we get y times cosine of xy. Okay. Now, I would have actually put a step in between there to maybe make that just a little bit clearer. Okay, so I think possibly if we stuck in between here, 2y dy dx equals 2x times cosine of x plus cosine of xy times x. Oh, I'm running out of room there. So I'm going to write that on the little next line here. Hold on. Let me just scroll. Give myself a little bit more room. Okay, so in that line, I have 2y dy dx equals 2x plus cosine of xy times x dy dx, okay, plus cosine of xy times y times 1, right? I mean, we don't really need the times 1 on there, but just to be a little bit clearer, then we can subtract, because our goal now is to get the dy dx's all on one side and everything else on the other side, right? So now, that next line, we would be subtracting this off of both sides. Okay? And that's what gives us this line here. Okay? Once we do that, then we factor out the dy dx, right? We factor that out front, and then what's left is the 2y and the x cosine of xy. That's this piece here. Okay? And then we divide by that to get the dy dx by itself. Okay? But I think this middle step is kind of a little bit unclear because they use the distributive property and they subtracted stuff all at one time. Okay? And I don't like doing too many steps at once. So maybe this will help clear up all the little steps in between. So have a wonderful day.